We're just ordinary people living ordinary lives until we see someone on TV win a $25,000 prize. Come on down. I'll play any game for 10 seconds of fame. Come on down. I'll make a deal, just let me spin the wheel. Come on down. To win $1 million, all you need is a little luck and thorough knowledge of multiple disparate trivial subjects.
All right, welcome back to another all-new episode of Come On Down, the game show podcast that's perfect for a little Halloween, Thanksgiving.
It's November.
Thanksgiving.
It's like late November.
Is it? When are we recording this?
Late November.
Okay, yes. It is late November. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Welcome to Come On Down. Today we're going to be talking about a game show from a long time ago. Not that, I mean, we've talked about
I would say one of the coolest game shows we've done.
One of the coolest. One of the most drug-induced fever dream game shows we've done, and that is Remote Control.
If you can remember the kid in your class in middle school that was like way too cool to be in school and he had an attitude about it,
Johnny.
that is what Remote Control is.
That kid's name was Johnny in my
Right,
middle
exactly.
school.
That was a guy that stabbed somebody in like senior high school, right?
Well, there is some debate about that stabbing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's
okay. That's what I thought.
The debate was whether he stabbed 4 or 5 people.
My goodness. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. And you know what else you're stabbing this time of year? A turkey.
Hey, because it is late November. Thanksgiving season.
Before we go any further, we do have another sponsor today.
Oh, nice. People love this.
People love this. I've heard from 0 people that they like this.
Okay.
But I can tell that they probably don't like this.
Right.
So I'm going to give you your script, which you have not seen until today.
Right.
I made it nice and big for you because I know your eyes are going out.
This is large.
So your eyes are going out.
All right. So I'll start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Our sponsor today comes from the Wacky Mix-em-Up product line at Kraft.
Hey, John. Do you like macaroni and cheese?
Of course. I have the palate of a 13-year-old boy.
Well.
And the penis.
Well, then you're going to love their
I'm just reading the script.
Oh, yeah. That's not in the script. You actually added that yourself. Well, then you're going to love their new mix-em-up food, macaroni and peas.
But where's the cheese?
Instead of swimming around in that gooey, creamy cheese, the macaroni are now swimming around in peas.
Oh, so the best part of the macaroni and cheese is gone.
That's right. Now you can trick your kids into eating peas.
But won't the kids know it's peas?
The Mix-em-Up team thought of that, so they smashed the peas into a paste-like substance, added yellow-orange food coloring, and also added some natural cheese to cover up that pea flavor.
Oh, so it's essentially worse macaroni and cheese.
It's macaroni and peas.
Come on down, listeners. Get 25% off a pallet of macaroni and peas. You order these by the pallet. It's not even like a box at the grocery store.
It's hard to sell, so they make you...
25% off a pallet of macaroni and peas. Also, look for the upcoming new foods from the Kraft Mix-em-Up team. Hay One steak sauce. I guess that's made of hay, the steak sauce. American sliced fees. Is that just like bills that you put on your sandwich?
Yeah.
Singles. Creamy Jar Jar sauce. I don't know what that one is. Is that
like tartar sauce, but it's
Jar Jar Binks
from Jar Jar.
Oh, wow, it's milk from Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. Okay, Catalina wine mixer salad dressing, creamy white Russian salad dressing. So is that milk in
with alcohol? Yeah.
Okay, but Russian salad mixed.
Right.
Okay. Please Whiz. Can you explain that one to me?
I didn't write this ad. This is
from Kraft. Right. I forgot this is from Kraft and you didn't know. Yeah. And many more.
More?
Yep. Gray poop on Dijon custard. So it's poop and is there mustard in the custard, do you think?
No clue. Okay. I didn't write this.
Miracle nip slip. This is just a bunch of bad puns.
These are getting weirder.
Extra cholesterol mayonnaise. That one's not even a pun. It's just whatever. Here's the more bad stuff. Jalapeno string bees.
That sounds not good.
Philadelphia Clive and Owen cream cheese.
That must be like a play on chive and onion.
Okay, but it's like Clive Owen's name. Okay. What is this word?
Real lemon.
Real lemon as one word? Mm-hmm. Is that a thing outside of this ad right here?
No, it is.
Real lemon single serve lemon juice. Huh. And Texas Pete That's Hot sauce.
That's so many different.
That's the end
I'm
of the
assuming
ad?
these all come from. Are these all pallets as well? Do you have to order pallets?
Yeah. I think maybe you get 20. Do you get 25% off any of these pallets or just the macaroni?
Probably
and peas?
just the macaroni and peas. I think they were just wanted to give the listeners a heads up on the new stuff that's coming out.
All right. Well, keep an eye out for these things.
Yeah.
That are real. All right. Thank you to Kraft Macaroni and Peas.
Thank you
for
Kraft.
sponsoring this episode. I feel like all that weirdness is going to tie in very well to whatever we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
So today, as we mentioned, we're going to be talking about a game show called Remote Control. Now, this is a show that aired on MTV from 1987 to 1990. So 3 or 4 years, but they squeezed 5 seasons of the show into
Before
that time frame.
MTV was teen pregnancy shows.
Right. So this was the
This is
problem
before I
of
even
this
knew
show.
about MTV. By the way.
Right. So the problem, I guess, about this show is,
Problem?
and the interesting thing is that this was the first original MTV series that was not music based.
Okay.
So this was the beginning.
Really
of the end,
stepping out of
really.
there. Oh wow, yeah.
Because now there's no shows that are music based on MTV. It's all about pregnant teenagers and catfishes.
It's Catfish
And
Eye.
oh, I'm sorry, and other pregnant teenager eye, or is it teenager us? Teenager
Teenager
There's 7 shows about pregnant teenager and at least one show about catfish eye.
I think is MTV. No, never mind.
Oh, okay.
I was watching a show about this family that lives on a farm. It lives similar to Amish people, and the parents don't want them watching any television, or they're a very wholesome Christian family.
But then why do they have a film crew following them all the time?
Because one of the children has broken off and
It's
is
a
living in
Rumspringa
squalor.
situation?
Yes, exactly. But without actually being Rumspringer. And he liked it. And that just seemed like something that would be on MTV. It is not.
Okay. Well.
But that sounds like something you'd see on MTV.
Yeah, there was also Buck Wild on MTV. Did you?
Oh
ever
my
watch
God, that
I
guy
loved-
died.
Yeah.
I
Dandy.
liked, but Buckwild was when we were all in college, right?
No, it was after. It was as adults.
We were outside of college and
Yep.
watching Buckwild.
Yeah.
Yikes!
I liked it though, but yeah,
Well, it was just
Shane Gandy. I think was the name of the guy who died.
yeah.
And after first season, so we never got a second season.
Oh yeah! Wow,
unfortunately.
2013.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the point is MTV doesn't have any shows about music anymore.
No, they
This was
don't.
the first MTV show that wasn't about music.
And yeah, I wish it would have been the last, but it was not.
It was not. It also, as we mentioned, is a 1980s fever dream for the most part. That's why you are dressed like a clown right now, I think.
What?
You got this shirt on with like 7 different colors and
I
patterns.
have a cool shirt on, and it is a woman's shirt.
Is it a woman's shirt?
It is a woman because look, the buttons.
Buttons are on the woman's side.
Yeah,
That's
and you want to know why
interesting.
they're on the other side?
Why? Because it's for women?
No, apparently
Why women
the
have buttons on
help
the other
used
side?
to help women dress, so they would have it
so
on
it's
the right-handed.
normal way. But what about the help? Where are their buttons? Do they have different clothes with men's buttons, side buttons?
Yeah, it goes back and forth each.
Okay, so
yeah.
like Viola Davis had it on that
Correct.
one side, but Emma Stone had the buttons on the other side.
Right.
I just I saw a picture of the movie The Help.
No,
so
you
that's
saw
why
it
I'm
and you
using-
liked it, and I remember you tweeting about it.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to get around to it. Anyway, Remote Control. 1987 and 1990, the last year or two, 89 to 90, there was also a syndicated version that aired off of MTV in syndication. It was hosted by a guy named Ken Ober, and the show had a kind of setup or conceit to it, which was that Ken was a guy who loved game shows and always wanted his own game show. So he set up a game show in his mom's basement.
Mm-hmm.
So the set of the show looked like a basement. There was a washer and dryer on the set. The contestants, rather than...
There was a bar.
Yep, there was a bar. There was a giant Pez dispenser with the Bob Eubanks head on it because Ken loved game shows.
Yeah.
And the contestants sat in Lazy Boys.
Did you have a basement in New York?
No, I did not.
Is New York known for basements?
Some people have them. I didn't.
I don't know if this... I had a basement when I lived in Michigan.
Yeah, I think the Midwest is big on the basement.
I don't know if it was as cool.
Like
Like a
Wayne's
bar
World.
in the basement to me was... It didn't make sense. But I haven't had a real basement or had a basement when I was a grown adult. So I don't know. Was that... Like, would men do... Would it be like the cave? The man
I think the
cave?
basement is kind of a man cave situation a lot of times. My aunt and uncle in New York have a basement. And
They just get hammered in their bar down there?
Yeah. They have like sex parties and things like that. I've been invited a few times.
You've been invited to your aunt and uncle's sex
Yeah,
parties.
It's weird.
To like do like the coat check?
To be the bartender.
Okay.
So yeah, it was this big basement set. And like I said, the contestants were all in Lazy Boys with kind of like TV tables in front of them.
Very bright colored Lazy Boys.
Yes. Each Lazy Boy was a different color.
Because the colors in the 90s, I guess late 80s and early 90s were vibrant.
They were big time.
Like, I would say this is tame.
Yeah, that shirt you're wearing, that is salmon and teal and blue and pink
And white.
Yep.
And yeah, lots of different patterns too.
Yeah, you would not stand out at all in the 80s.
Yeah, if you're not watching this
It'd be like,
episode,
who's this boring looking guy?
you are missing out.
So the show was basically all about TV for the most part. All of the questions were TV based generally. The way that it worked was there were 9 quote unquote channels that the contestants could choose from where the questions were, and they didn't know what each of the channels were other than I want to go to channel 5.
Yeah.
And then they would announce, oh, channel 5 is this category. And it would always try and be like a show or network based category.
One was Elvis.
Elvis?
Yeah, it kept popping up a lot.
Okay.
So I didn't really understand what that tied into.
There was like Leave Out the Beaver. It was all questions about either Leave It to Beaver or the cast of Leave It to Beaver. Private Dicks, which was a category about my aunt and uncle's parties.
I don't think orgy parties would be private dicks. It'd be more of a public situation.
No, that was about like detective shows and things like that.
Okay.
And then there was Dead or Alive, which was they just said a person. You said whether they were dead
They
or
would
alive.
just show a picture if it was a corpse or not, and you had to say dead or alive.
Yeah. There was also Dead or Canadian, where they said a person and you had to say whether they were dead or Canadian.
That's funny.
There was also Dead, Alive, or Indian Food, where they would name something and you had to choose which of those 3 it was. But yeah, so it was kind of fun categories. There was one of the channels was always MTV, and those questions were about MTV
television,
music videos, because that it wasn't about pregnant 12-year-olds at that point in time.
Well, some music videos are.
Well, yeah, I mean the good ones.
Yeah.
But other than the music videos that were about that, it was just about music videos in general. So there were normally 3 questions per category, and they went up 5, 10, 15 points.
Yeah.
And whoever got the question right had control. They could choose the next question in that category or change the channel.
And
to
how
a
did
different
they
category.
select which channel to do?
They had a big remote that they pointed and they said, I want to watch channel 5.
Right, but it had no control.
No, it didn't do anything,
Right.
actually. It was just a prop.
I knew that because there were multiple times when contestants forgot to do it and would like use their buzzer or would just say the channel, and it took me out. And
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'm clearly
The illusion is gone.
this is fake.
They're not changing to the actual
They're
channel.
not in that guy's basement.
There were also several times where I saw where Ken Ober didn't hear what they said, because there's a lot of nonsense going on.
There's
in
a
this
lot
show.
of it's not a tight show,
No,
I would say.
it is, like I said, it is very much a fever dream. There are almost no rules whatsoever, and things just happen. Then there's a snack break at the end of round 1. And
I would say more of an aggressive snack dump is what it was.
so most of the time it was like chips or snacks falling from above on the heads of the contestants, and they would try and take a bowl and cover their head with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes there were things thrown at them, pies thrown in their faces, or the hostess of the show would bring some food out to them.
Good, because she was irrelevant.
Yes.
To the show.
Yes.
Not her, but that job.
Yes, because there were several people that held that job over the course
Right,
of
it's
the
like
show.
4 or 5 women.
Yeah, so as we said, Ken Ober was the
I want
host
to tell you
of the
something
show.
real
Yep,
quick. I saw
okay.
something that was very funny to me, and it was during the snack break. And I guess the producers tell them, hey, have like a fake food fight. So all this dumps, and they kind of just lightly throw it at each other. I saw one where one contestant either heard that and didn't care, or just didn't hear it. And he proceeded to catch the snacks, open them, and then eat them all.
Respect.
Like, not in a like shoving my, but he was just like,
like, oh,
chill
wow,
dude.
nice.
Like,
Snickers.
like open this snack.
Nice.
Was not involved in the light food.
He
Food
knew
fight.
what he wanted. He needed some brain food. But yeah, so as we said, Ken Ober was the host. Colin Quinn was the announcer / sidekick sort of character who
Right.
kind of sat at the bar and would chime in here and there on things, was involved in some of the questions, some of the
Usually the singing ones.
some of the special categories, because we kind of named some of the standard question type categories. There were also performance-based categories, really, where Colin Quinn and the hostess, who, like I said, was kind of, there were 5 different versions of the hostess throughout the series, would act something out or sing some song that was a clue. It was kind of like the video questions on Jeopardy, but just people dicking around and they were not taking their jobs very seriously at all for the most part. It was just people having fun, probably drunk and or high. But this was the first TV job for Colin Quinn, who would later go on to do such things as Saturday Night Live, where he hosted Weekend Update for a good portion of my prime Saturday Night Live time of my life. I think it was 98 to 2000 or 2001 or so. It was right after Norm Macdonald, who was the best Weekend Update person
And
ever,
most offensive.
and the best comedian in the world. So Colin Quinn had big shoes to fill, but I did think he did a good job on Weekend Update. I thought he was good.
Did you watch the Colin
not
Quinn
Norm.
show?
The Colin Quinn Show, I watched all 3 episodes when they aired on NBC in 2002 or whatever it was. No, I remember it being a thing when it came out, and I don't remember watching it. And then I remember it going away, and then it had 3 episodes that aired, it turns out.
It has the same. It had the same setup as the David Spade show. It's his show that he does now. It was just
Right.
4 people in chairs, kind of had. I think so. They had some pre-written jokes, but basically shooting the shit and trying to be funny.
Well, and I mean, he basically turned that into, shortly after that, he had what was the other Colin Quinn show on Comedy Central? Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
And it was 4 comedians, and they would kind of talk.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
That's what you're thinking of. That was a little, because that was a little more politics based.
Yeah.
And that lasted 3 seasons. So
There
that
was an episode that
a
had
successful show.
Greg Giraldo and Dennis Leary, and they almost got in a fight because
Giraldo and Leary.
Yeah, Leary
'Cause Dennis
Leary
Leary
came onto the
steals
show
jokes.
not knowing that these people wrote jokes and they knew topics beforehand, and didn't know that. So Greg Giraldo showed up with a whole bunch of jokes, some of them making fun of the show that Dennis Leary was on at the time.
Rescue
And
Me.
I think so, yeah. And you could tell Dennis Leary got very upset with Greg Giraldo, who had pre-written zingers.
Nice.
And yeah, I know Colin Quinn at one point had to put his leg up on the table.
To separate them.
He thought that was gonna work, but yeah, I guess
Awesome.
Yeah, it was-
Yeah, so you mentioned Dennis Leary. There were other side characters on the show who would pop up for categories here and there. One of those people was Dennis Leary, and this was, again, his first real TV role. Another one of those people was Adam Sandler, and it was also his first real TV role. So
this was pre SNL.
Yes.
I
So
guess, yeah, that would be crazy
So yeah,
if he was on SNL and came back to do-
1990 on SNL, and
Okay.
then Colin Quinn I think was 96 SNL. Dennis Leary was never SNL. He just stole jokes and got famous from it.
I think it's also fun to note that when you select the category that required somebody to come out and act something, you could get the answer right, and then the next person or
Change
you, I
the
guess,
channel.
Yeah, you would just change it,
And the
they
person would have to walk off. And then if that went back to that category, they'd have to walk back
come
on
back out.
stage.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was funny. They would always be upset when people changed the channel
right.
because they had to leave. But yeah, so it was like Adam Sandler or Dennis Leary in some sort of character asking a question in some weird way. Sometimes there was like a you laugh, you lose, where one of these comedians came out and performed for 20 seconds or something like that, and you had to not smile for the entire time, and you got points if you did, and lost points if you did smile or
Wow.
laugh, and got points if you didn't. There was one called Fairy Pixie Corner, where it was fake weird nursery rhymes were the clues.
Yeah.
There was one called Beat the Bishop, which is a synonym for
Masturbate.
whoa,
Right? The bishop looks like
Jesus, dude.
a nipple.
What? A nipple?
What?
A penis?
How do you masturbate?
Oh, have you seen the Queen's Gambit?
That's just a porn, I think. Jonda loves it.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so Beat the Bishop was a guy dressed up as a bishop, ran a lap around the studio, and they asked you a complex math question, and you had to answer the question before he finished his lap in order to get points. So like I said, it was just people goofing off and coming up with random ass ideas,
Yeah.
and then just rolling a camera on it and going. So that's a big part of the charm of it. In many ways, I thought that it felt like it had similarities with a later show that we have discussed before, Win Ben Stein's Money,
That's exactly how I feel.
in the sense that there was a sidekick or two cracking jokes.
Yeah.
There was a little more looseness to it. The set didn't look like a standard game show set.
But when Ben Stein's Money was,
It was serious trivia questions.
yeah, but also it was polished, and it
Right.
allowed for quick side comments, which I thought were much funnier, and the audience seemed to be a little more into When Ben Stein's Money.
Yeah, no, this was very MTV when it was actually alternative. When
Right.
it was something different and weird, and especially in the 80s with like teenage Gen Xers and stuff, I think this was very, very cool because it was different, and it was just people not giving a shit and not overproducing something and just going, and it was
Yeah.
kind of that rebellious attitude to it. So I think that's what it was born from. I mean, that's the whole spirit that the entire MTV network was born from in the 80s.
Yeah.
Before it became the corporate sellout pregnancy test bullshit that it is now.
Pregnancy test?
Well, they've got to take the test at some point. Instead of trivia questions, it's pregnancy
Pregnancy
tests.
test,
now.
okay.
That's the difference on MTV. So yeah, so there was a snack break at the end of round 1. Round 2 was more of the same stuff with 9 new channels, and the points were doubled. So there was like 10, 50, or 10, 20, 30 points per question now. And then at the end of round 2, the TV went off the air.
Whoa.
And at that point, the big TV screen thing turns off, and the contestant with the lowest score is booted off the air there's a reason that they had seatbelts on their Lazy Boys.
Yeah.
Because their Lazy Boys are just kind of yoinked off the stage and crashed through the wall behind them, where there might be other weird characters dressed up as things attacking them as they get pulled back there,
Yes.
or the chair might flip back through the wall, or the wall might rotate out and they go through it, or the chair might get sent back out with a skeleton in it, implying that they'd been killed and things like that.
The bones had been picked, like large piranhas were back there and just kind of went to town.
Yeah.
It was as if you were seeing a high school play that got kind of a big budget that year. They spent all their money on this one special set piece, which it didn't even look very good.
What do you mean? It was kind of like a Legends of the Hidden Temple Guard attack.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the rotating set from that one show that we did.
Card Sharks.
Yeah. But worse.
But worse, yeah. So at that point, they went into a head-to-head lightning round with the two remaining contestants. It was called the Think Real Fast round. Mm-hmm. And for most of the show, the way that it worked was it was 30 seconds, and there were rapid-fire questions asked throughout those 30 seconds that were 10 points each. And you buzzed in and tried to get it right. A lot of times it was fix this incorrect word or name or something like that. So it was something that was very fast and didn't require a lot of thinking, or it would be a fill in the blank, leave it to, and then you'd buzz in and say beaver, whatever it was. So that was pretty much the main game. Whoever had the most points at the end of the lightning round, the Think Real Fast round, was the winner. And the other person was also yoinked off the stage to their death or whatever it was.
Probably.
Yeah. So that was the winner of the main game. And then there was the grand prize round,
which looked like something out of Clockwork Orange, where that guy gets put in front of all those TVs and they put the thing on his eyes and keep his eyes open and make him watch.
So it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that movie.
I haven't either. Isn't that the crazy part?
Wait, what? Is that true?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, but I think I've seen like a scene from that, and I know that they yank a guy's open and make him watch something.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. And I wanted to, when you said that, I wanted to just agree with you and be like, yeah, and then move on.
Yeah.
But I realized I would be lying. And I realized, I don't know if you do this, but I do that kind of a lot, where I just lie and pretend I've seen or know about things just because it's easier and faster.
Yeah.
And then I just hope I don't get caught.
Yeah.
And especially when
When's
it's
the last time you did that?
I don't know, probably yesterday or something. The last time I talked to a person outside of my wife, I don't know. Like, it's...
Are you like a serial like liar?
Oh,
you
big,
just like get
big
off
time.
on it?
I make so much stuff up.
Yeah.
It's often when I'm talking to somebody that I am not super close with.
An acquaintance.
Right, an acquaintance, and we'll be talking about something, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, it's like when the guy in Pulp Fiction. Oh, what you know that part?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about." But I've never seen Pulp Fiction, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's just easier for me to go along with it, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah," and they'll be like, "Oh, he says." Oh, this is what he says. And I'll be like, yeah, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
But then sometimes that person will be like, oh, no, wait, that wasn't it. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, no, wait, it wasn't. Yeah, no. Oh,
you're
God,
you're just like a mirror to them.
I can't remember. Oh, what was it? I don't know why I do that, but I find myself doing that more frequently
because you don't
want to
you don't want to admit you don't know something.
I think that's probably...
Especially you. I feel like your ego is very closely tied to your
Thank you.
IQ or, ability to know things.
Yeah.
Because I know that I can't tell you... I don't think I've ever told you new information.
No, you told me something new earlier today.
What?
I don't know. Wasn't there something in this episode that you shared that I didn't know?
The Clockwork Orange thing?
Yeah, the thing you made up. The thing that started this whole conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's just like that scene in A Clockwork Orange.
I wonder how many people do that. I bet it's pretty common.
I'd imagine I'm not the only one who does it.
Well, usually okay, so I love my mom, but there are times when she cannot remember something in a story. and for whatever reason cannot move forward in the story until she remembers it.
Oh, so it's like, and he was wearing, what was he wearing? And it's entirely irrelevant what he was wearing.
Correct.
But she won't continue the story.
Well, she just needs to remember it or figure it out. And so,
right.
And I guess I don't do that with my mom. So I'm just like, so there's just this uncomfortable time where everybody just has to be quiet and like let her think of this because nobody knows this part of whatever the story is. So I would say that the trick that you do is just to make the conversation flow better.
It's really a really generous thing for me to do.
It's so generous of you.
It is very selfless of me to just lie all the time. But
do you like go up to random strangers and just say a lie? And then move on to the next one?
Uh-huh. I'll walk up to somebody in the grocery store that we're crossing past, and I'll be like, I donated a truck's worth of canned foods to the food shelter earlier today. And they'll just go, okay. But I know they're thinking like, wow, that guy's a great guy.
Yeah. Not like this weird person probably just walked up and lied to me.
Right. No, I know what they're thinking. But I mean, what I do is not like, it's not like what a pathological liar does, I don't think. Like, we've known people in our life together where we've dealt with some what I think are pathological liars.
I think I can figure out what the difference is here. Pathological liars are on the offensive.
Right.
And what you're doing is more of a like you're letting the person lead the conversation.
I'm just going along with it.
Right. So you're still liars. But it's just I agree. I think there's a difference between a unprovoked random lie, usually to make the person look better or sound cooler, I would say pathological. Right. Liars.
I'm just trying to keep things flowing.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but I would love to be with you when you get caught in the. It was that, and the person's. I'm gonna start doing it to you now. I'm just gonna
see. No, but if it's you, I'll be like, I don't know, I haven't seen that because I don't care if the conversation stalls. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so it's just like that scene. The grand prize round of this show is maybe just like a scene from maybe A Clockwork
that we
Orange.
think it might be like.
I just watched American Beauty the other day for
Pervert.
I've seen it before, but it was quite good.
You don't feel weird at that scene?
Which scene?
The one where I think the flowers are falling down, and she was 14 or 15. Her mom was on set because she couldn't be on set by herself.
You're conflating two different things.
What?
So Mina Suvari, who was the girl that Kevin Spacey was obsessed with, she was like 20 or something at the time. She was the one with the flowers all hanging over her.
So was the other girl?
It was the other girl. It was I can't remember her name. Girl from Hocus
Was there a
Pocus.
sex scene that she was in?
No, she wasn't in a sex scene, but she like took her top off while the neighbor was videotaping her.
Oh.
And so that was
because
she was 16.
Bag flying guy.
Yeah, that guy. She was 16, so her parents had to be on.
Can you imagine? What if you were? Let's say you have a daughter, and she gets a huge part in a movie.
Okay.
And it's not like a student film.
It's like A Clockwork Orange.
It's like A Clockwork Orange.
Okay. And which is one of my favorite films.
I agree. Because do you remember the part?
Oh, where the guy.
The most famous part.
Yeah. Oh, what does he say?
It's a Clockwork Orange now.
Yes, exactly. I love that part.
No, wait, hold on. I don't think he says. There's no like pivotal line in the movie where he says actual.
No, what am I thinking of? What? You're right. It was. Oh God, I can't think of it.
I can't. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll text it to you later.
Okay. Yes, please do.
So your daughter's on set.
Uh-huh.
And she has to take her top off.
Okay.
And Erica's out of town. You have to be the one on set.
Okay.
Do you agree with this? Are you like, yes, sweetheart, follow your dreams, I'll be there for you? Or
I mean, I don't know. Erica
still has dark
a phone,
sunglasses?
Right? I have to like call. I feel like I can't make a unilateral decision.
Yeah,
on
but
that
just
one.
do it now for the podcast.
Oh, then yeah, okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Wow,
follow
really?
your dreams. I'm not standing in the way of anybody's dreams. I mean,
I think I would have to say no.
I think it depends on the context, right?
What's the context?
Like American Beauty is like a multi-Academy Award winning piece of
You don't know that
high
at the time.
art. But I mean, if you watch it, if you read the script, I think you can like have a lot of respect for it. Where if it's like, this is a movie about like teenagers fucking
Like
and
Sharknado
stuff.
7.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's like, yeah, there's really no reason for that. That seems unnecessary. So I feel like the context is
So
important
if the
here.
part in the script said "girl takes off top," and it's like there's not even a name for the character. You're like,
yeah, then I think
hard
that
pass.
might be an issue. Yeah, yeah. I think it has to do with the artistic value of it.
I still say no. I don't
Okay.
think I would.
Um,
If it was my son, yes.
You
And
let
it's
him-
bottoms off.
Bottoms off.
And that has to be the name of the movie, though.
Bottoms off. You'd let him reveal his bishop.
I said bottom.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that was a niffle. I keep getting confused. So, anyway, if you'll let me talk about the grand prize round now.
Fine.
So the grand prize round of the show, it's just like a Clockwork Orange. The winner lays on a bed.
A whole bunch of roses.
There's roses falling down. The winner lays on a bed. And it's kind of like hospital bed-ish, where it's propped up a little bit.
It was one of those beds at the time that was really popular. That was able to like fold up and
Right. So you could lean up a little bit in your lying position, and then there were 9 TV sets stacked in front of.
and you had to be
winner.
strapped in. They had like a big black belt.
You can't go anywhere. You're locked in this bed, all right? And there were 9 TV sets in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had, I think, 45 seconds. And they just start playing 9 different music videos on all 9 of these TV sets. And you had to name the artist of all 9 music videos to win the grand prize. And I mean, if you're a big TV fan, a big MTV fan, to the point where you've already won this show that's all almost exclusively TV-based questions,
Right.
I think you've got a pretty good chance in this. I saw every episode that I saw, the person won.
Oh, I saw one he didn't win.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw like 3
But he only
episodes and
didn't
they
get
won.
one.
Oh, really?
So we got,
Right.
most of them.
And then if you got them all, you won the grand prize, which was often either a car or a trip, like a vacation or something along those lines. And so I felt like pretty solid prize potential overall, because
I
they would
like that you
also-
could win a Zenith remote control.
So I think that was one of the things that you would win for winning the regular.
Yeah.
Before you won the grand prize, just for winning it, because it was like 5 or 6 things that you won
Yeah.
just for winning it. It was like you get a exercise bike and a skateboard.
A
and
telescope seemed to be every single.
I feel like every game show in the 80s and 90s gave away telescopes. I feel like they
Was
must have,
NASA really popular?
No, I think what happened was a factory accidentally overmade telescopes. There were a lot of extra telescopes hanging around, and they needed to figure out what to do with them.
Okay, so it was like the Dollar Shave Club guy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, NASA was really popular. I remember this is 1987. I mean, 1986 was the Challenger explosion. So pretty popular at the time.
Oh no!
In case you wanted to see any explosions in space, you had a telescope for it now.
Oh no!
And,
Why did they put a teacher on board?
you know, because we wanted to inspire children to become teachers. And that's why our education system is shit right now, because all the kids grew up, hey, you can be a teacher and we'll blow the shit out of you in space. You will explode. So nobody wanted to be a teacher. And now we've got the worst education in the world.
That makes sense. I bet those are related.
Rank number 300 out of 190
There's like
countries.
300. What is your metric?
Yeah. I was counting like some space colonies and stuff also,
yeah.
which don't have any teachers on them on account of.
That they weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So that was the main show. That was how you won. Those were the prizes. Like we said, Colin Quinn, he got his first start from this, as did Dennis Leary and Adam Sandler in smaller roles, although they wound up being eventually more famous and successful than Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Well, it's not a shame. Probably in Dennis Leary's case, it's a shame, but not in Adam Sandler's. He's a funny guy.
Right.
Or he was at one point. Although, did you see Hubie Halloween?
I loved it.
Speaking of Halloween,
I
we've
loved
already
it.
talked about, because we're recording this in late November.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Quinn was in Hubie Halloween also. He was like the janitor, I think.
Oh, yeah. I had to watch it, and I think this made it the most enjoyable.
Did somebody claw your eyes open with a little thing?
Dude, like Green Mile.
Exactly.
What
Exactly.
made it very enjoyable to me and would have seriously hindered my enjoyment if this wasn't turned on, subtitles.
Because of the way that Adam Sandler talks
Correct.
in the movie?
He mumbled. Or he did. No, it wasn't that voice.
That was like guy who got his wisdom teeth out.
Okay, that was closer.
That was not bad.
But because the script is kind of funny and it had good bits in it, but I would have been so lost if I didn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't bad. For an Adam Sandler Netflix movie where the bar is on the ground.
Well, here's the thing.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it's for sure on the ground, but I feel like I'm coming off of a gamma ray, if you can imagine, like on a, how gamma ray is kind of like an up and down situation on a graph.
I know. I don't know anything about
So I was way up high for early Adam Sandler, like everybody is. I feel like this is a very popular stance. And then once he starts to do, what was it called?
What called?
It's like, I want to get chocolate wasted.
Oh, the grown-ups?
Yeah, the grown-ups kind of started going down for me. And then...
I mean, I think it went down before that. I think
his
Jack and Jill.
Stand-up, great movie.
Al Pacino's finest role.
His stand-up on Netflix got
his
me
stand-up
hooked
was pretty
back
good.
in.
Yep.
Because the style of comedy now, I guess, that I like was depressing, making fun of yourself, self-deprecating, bleak alternative comedy.
Louis C.K.
Right. And his is just pure goofiness.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I wanted that in comedy because I didn't seek it out now. And so after that, liked him, Hubie Halloween. I think if he does another one, I'll probably enjoy it as well.
Would you say that based on what you were into in comedy and Adam Sandler special, would you say that it saved your life? Would you have killed yourself, do you think, if you hadn't? Mm-hmm. Wow.
But then I got a grill yourself. And I felt fine after that because I was able to grill.
They're out of business.
Myself.
They're out of business. Okay.
I'll look it up.
So there were hostesses as well. The most successful of those were Kari Wurer, I think. Wurer. Wurer. She was FHM named her like one of the 100 hottest women in the world at one point.
For Him magazine?
Is that what that stands for?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
Just go with it, dude. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. For Him magazine.
I mean, it was full
It's
of
like
naked or almost naked girls. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay. Is it like hymns?
For Him magazine.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Hymns
It's
where
like-
if you can't get a boner, and so you tell your dad you can't get a boner, and he's like, well, good news, son. I'm a doctor. I'll invent this pill for your heart.
Do you know where that came from?
Hymns?
Yeah.
I don't know. On the commercial, it's some guy who can't get a boner, and his dad made a pill for it.
The Viagra patent ended.
So it's just Viagra?
Yes.
Okay.
It ended, so like all these companies have the same whatever molecular.
But no, it's good for heart health, it says also.
heart health.
I don't know.
Because it thins the shit out of your blood.
Because heart health is why you can't get a boner.
Because you have a weak pumping heart.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with your penis.
I don't know. That's what they say in the commercial, man. I trust them.
Do you ever think like your penis gets like a whole bunch of blood coming its way, and it's like, oh god, dude,
it just sees
give it a rest.
It's like when those Japanese people saw that tsunami coming towards them.
just running away. Dude, I'm just chilling here. Dude, I'm just
It's a
relaxing.
nice day at the beach.
What are you doing, dude?
So, yeah, also Alicia Coppola.
What's a HERS pill? What does a HERS pill do?
I don't know. I don't think it exists.
Yeah,
I think
but
we
what
need to
would it do?
invent it.
What's
what
the
would
equivalent
what
of a
would a
HERS
HERS
pill?
pill do?
Like just put you to sleep? Oh God, no! Then it's like a GHB.
Yeah, let's not promote that. I don't know. So like, what's the equivalent of a woman
What's
getting
something
a boner?
that fails, I guess, in a woman as she gets older that a pill could help reignite? Or 'cause I feel like their sex drive's fine from like 40 on. It's when they hit their peak.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think women hit their like sex peak later.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
like our
They're
wives
lucky.
right now are just not into it.
Which I don't blame.
They're
them.
like,
I don't blame them at all.
love you and I'll do this because I know you like it, but I don't. Give me like
I get nothing out of
15
this.
years and I might want to have sex with you.
Once.
So we just don't know what a HERS pill would do.
I'm not experienced enough. I can't speak for women. It's not my role.
Maybe like ends menopause earlier.
How long does menopause last?
I don't know.
What do you know about menopause?
It happens when you're 50.
Has your mom told you about it?
No, dude, because she keeps forgetting the story and have to sit there.
Oh, what was the doctor's name?
That's exactly right. I love you, Mom. Thank you for supporting the show.
So, yeah, Alicia Coppola, not affiliated with the famous Coppolas.
Okay, I thought she was for
Which
sure.
I would assume so also because it's a kind of uncommon name, and you're like Nick Cage.
Yeah,
He's a Coppola,
right.
but she's not. But she was also in some soap operas. Kari Wurer was in some soap operas as well, and they both.
Probably because they're like, we can't pronounce her last name.
Yeah,
We can't have her in the show.
All right, she can be on General Hospital. That's it, though. And they've had some, appearances on Law and Order, like everybody else that's an actor has, and things like that. But they're not Adam Sandler. So that is pretty much the show. Oh, if there was a tie, the Bob Eubanks Pez dispenser had a tiebreaker question inside of it that would come out of
his neck?
come out of Bob Eubanks' neck.
Wow.
That was how they would break the tie. And if there was a tie at the off the air portion, nobody was eliminated, and all three people did the lightning round.
Wow.
Wild.
That sounds intense.
Very wild.
Wow.
But that's basically the show. Ken Ober, he did a couple more game show type things. He hosted a game show on ESPN in the early 90s. Kind of just new media at the time, alternative sort of game show stuff. He's dead.
Do you know what show he wrote for?
What show he wrote for? Mm-hmm. Like
He was a
after?
staff writer?
No, what?
Mind of Mencia.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So,
Which was the critically acclaimed sketch show that changed the landscape forever.
no, that was the show with Carlos Mencia.
The Dirt?
You nailed it. Yeah, that show was the worst. But Ken Ober died in 2010 of heart stuff. He didn't have
He didn't have hymns,
He
dude.
didn't have hymns. He died very young, so that's sad and tragic. Almost as sad and tragic as writing for Mind of Mencia.
Yeah, I would say equally as tragic.
But I thought he was good. He was fun. He was lively and funny as the host of the show.
I kind of disagree.
Oh, you don't like Ken Ober?
Well, I wasn't able to watch this through the lens of a young me. I was watching it as me now. So
Okay.
I see a host who doesn't really seem to want to be there and care about the show. So it was hard for me to get
It's
invested.
alternative, man.
I get it.
It wasn't cool to care.
It's not working now. And that's what I'm saying. If I would have watched this when I was younger, I probably would have been, oh, yeah,
Right.
fuck the Game Show Network, which doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, in a decade.
So and also he would fight with the audience a lot, which I probably would have loved when I was younger. But
Right.
I was just like, it had a cringy feel to it now, watching it now.
Yeah.
And the dead silences that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there was a lot of like the technical aspects of the show didn't work very well at all. There was just a lot of what did he say? I didn't hear you. What? So Colin, shut up. What? Like it was very much like there was one with Weird Al was one of the guest category people, and then he was also like when the people got eliminated through the wall, he was there
Fake attacking them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was definitely like I said, a very alternative comedy, alternative entertainment sort of. We don't give a shit about anything, and we're just rolling and let's go. And maybe you like this, and I don't give a fuck.
I don't care if you do.
Yeah, but I mean, it lasted for 5 seasons. It got syndication, so
was the only thing that was different on that channel.
Right.
You know,
it was the only non-music
sad
based
if it didn't.
And so in syndication, so MTV had the rights to all the music videos, but they didn't for syndication. So the final thing was
not music.
Was not music videos.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just like they were spun around on a wheel of death, like, and asked questions as they were spun, basically in a lightning round
bed
sort
anymore?
of format. What?
No bed.
No bed. Well, for some people might consider it a bed. There are some basements that have that, and it is used in place of a bed for certain activities. Like at my aunt and uncle's basement, there's just a couple things you can get strapped to.
You know what kind of orgy I could get behind?
An Eyes Wide Shut kind?
No,
that's my dream.
One that had like tents.
Tents?
Yeah, so
that's not an orgy then.
Why not? If it's in the same. What makes an orgy an orgy?
I think you've got
You can still free flow between the tents.
I think it's so much work.
If it's in the same,
you got to find where the zipper is.
But then you don't have like everybody like looking at you, or I just feel like I don't feel like I would.
I don't want to have sex in front of that guy. Everybody else, you're cool, but that guy, go to a tent.
Go to a tent. Or like there were numbers in a bowl, and everybody would pull out a number, and you'd be like, "Oh, I got number 4."
It's like the key thing, key party.
Yeah, exactly. But then one time you'd be like sneaky, and everybody's in the same tent, and you have to jam in there. And it's like a 3-person tent.
Okay.
There's like 12 people.
Oh man. And you're outside in a forest somewhere.
Yeah.
Seems uncomfortable. So there was also MTV was a channel.
Musical television.
Yes, but every year they did a spring break thing. You remember this from being a youth? MTV Spring Break,
yes.
And all of their shows would be live at spring break. They would do it in South Padre or Daytona Beach or wherever
some
they
other
decided
trashy place.
Right, wherever they decided to go that year, where college people generally go on spring break, and MTV would do all their shows live from there. Like I remember Say What Karaoke with Matt Pinfield would be live there. TRL would be live on the beach there. And all that. This show was also live from spring break when it was MTV spring break time. But the people would either be in like lounge chairs instead of lazy boys, or in chairs on little platforms over a swimming pool.
Ooh.
And instead of the big TV screen with the 9 channels, there was just like 9 hot people in bikinis or bathing suits with numbers on them that you selected. And then the final bonus round, instead of being on a bed, you were on a pool float in the pool on your back.
Whoa. Very cool. Very spring break.
Yes, exactly.
Whoa.
And instead of 9 TVs, I think there was just like one big TV that alternated between the music videos for you to call out. And yeah, there was an NES game.
What?
Yeah. Everything had an NES game. I don't know if you knew this.
I didn't. No.
Everything.
I was
an NES
not
game.
into video. My first video game system was a PlayStation. I didn't get the NES.
And you had to use the track and field.
So wait, everything used the track and field.
Everything. Yeah.
Wow.
He was like, all right, well, here comes Adam Sandler doing a
hooty hoo bit.
And you just had to go.
Yeah.
As fast
and now
as
we're
you
translating to. So the faster you go.
So yeah, there was an NES game, and then there were versions of this show adapted, surprisingly enough, for Italy, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Australia. All those were pretty unsuccessful.
Australia always copies our stuff.
Those bastards. And the UK, was that a good? I don't think it was.
No.
Okay.
The show's not known for good accents, except for the first one I did where it was like, hi, Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, that was a good little Jimmy Stewart. But it was more, you were impersonating the other guy from that movie.
Right.
But-
Fake Jimmy Stewart.
Yes, fake Jimmy Stewart. But the UK one was kind of successful. It went for a couple seasons. Which, I don't know.
What do you think a UK spring break is like? Very plain.
It's just a bunch of people in raincoats just drinking tea.
Nobody's showing their boobs.
Yeah, like, show me your ankles. Oi.
Oi?
Oi? Don't they say that?
That sounded more Australian.
Oh, damn it. I'm working on
Oi,
it.
mate.
Oi, mate, right. Right.
Oi, mate, right. What would that be a response to? Dude, you like fish and chips?
Oi, mate, right. Yeah. You want to go to Outback later? Oi, mate, right. No rules, just right.
What do I, what turn do I make after the stop sign?
Oi, mate. Oh, fuck, it's left.
I don't know.
So yeah, that's remote control. How would you make it better? Have you thought about this?
I mean, I'm giving this how to make it better from my perspective now. So I said a host that seems to care about the show or that wants to be there.
Okay. Lame. Sounds
I said
lame.
not as much. Yeah, these are for sure like how an adult would make that show better. No doubt. I'm very aware. Not as much fighting with the audience, which I'm sure was one of the cooler parts just
Right.
because nobody was doing that.
Right.
I guess just, yeah, it seemed just so unpolished. And I get like that's what was cool, but
Yeah.
it wasn't super enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. I think it sounds like you want a show that was written and created by sober people, which
Yeah.
is lame as fuck.
I want Win Ben Stein's money is what I want.
Right. But I thought if it were just a little more polished, it would probably have improved it. You could still have all the weirdness and wackiness with a little more polish.
Here's what it needed. And God, we're already so late. But this is the Chris Gethard show.
So here's the funny thing is
But-
I was just about to say this is like the Chris Gethard show public access version.
But the Chris Gethard show, I think what makes that work is they wanted to be there. They made fun of how ridiculous the show was. I think that's why I like it
they were
more.
very enthusiastic about it.
Yes.
That's true. Chris Gethard was very excited about being there.
For sure.
Despite it being a public access show.
You could tell it was a
New
labor
York.
of love that these kids were writing in some dingy room. And I think they put a lot of work into it, even though some of the bits were weird. I think that's what made it work.
So for a lot of people that are listening at home right now going, oh, yeah, it's just like the Chris Gethard show. Can you explain what the Chris Gethard
Yeah,
show
Chris
is?
Gethard
Who's
show.
Chris Gethard?
Chris Gethard's a comedian, a young comedian.
Is he? He's like 40.
I guess he looks young though. He's got that young person look. But yeah, you're right. He's older. And he is a self-deprecating, depressed, but very open about it comedian. And him and his friends had been doing a live show at one of the real popular theaters in New York.
Is it
I
UCB?
believe. Yeah, UCB. And it was a late night show, and they used to take calls, and they would just shoot the shit with random people that would call into the show. And they were given an opportunity to do the show, but an hour long. Actually, I think it was still an hour. And they would still call in people, and there was a very specific type of audience that would call in, and they would just talk with these people. And they had a real dingy set that had a big sheet behind it. They had a lady who, I forget what the point of her was, but it was like for visual people who need some sort of stimulation. She would just play with hoops in the background and would just play with hoops. And it wasn't like a joke that you could tell this lady was into it and this was her thing. And it also had very polished segments, which I guess Remote Control did too. There were rounds within the show, but I recommend it. Yeah, I loved it. I was,
It was
a huge
on
fan.
public access TV in
Yes.
the New York, New Jersey
Which
area.
apparently was a haven for young creatives.
Weird stuff,
New York just it was open because
You tried to get it.
I tried to figure
public
out
access
if there was a
TV
Dallas
here in
public
Dallas,
access,
and we
and
failed.
that's not a thing.
But the show ended up being on IFC later, right?
Yes, and then also I believe TBS at the very end.
Really? I don't
They
even
tried
remember
to
that.
get it started, but
But yeah, so that is Remote Control. I would give it a 3 out of 5 buzzers because I like the spirit. I like the kind of shoestring attitude to it of this is just whatever. This is what we've got. We've got a washer and a dryer as the set and the picture of Bob Barker in a frame over here behind the host.
Yeah.
So let's do it. I kind of like the idea that there was a host with a quote unquote backstory, that it wasn't just a game show for game show's sake, that there was a little bit of a story behind it, that every once in a while the upstairs mom would
yeah.
come and interrupt the show or just be yelling.
Yeah.
So I liked a lot of that fun, goofy stuff to it. I do feel like, yeah, it could have probably used a little more polish, but it was also a product of that time period and that attitude and that TV station.
How many buzzers did you give it?
3.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to give it 3 buzzers too. I think it was a gross underutilization of Colin Quinn. And I get that he's young and probably still finding his voice,
Right.
but he didn't do much. He just was the announcer who would do the singing bits. But the one that I watched, Colin Quinn was drawing something the whole time. And he would briefly check in and be like, and at the very end, he's like, Colin, what were you drawing? And he just showed a picture of a crudely drawn picture of the contestants.
Well,
that was it.
yeah, it was a little too loose.
It was too haphazard for me.
Okay, I like it. Haphazard. Double H. All right, that was Remote Control, MTV from 87 to 1990. And yeah, this has been another episode of Come On Down, the game show podcast. You can check us out on whatever favorite podcast app you've got, on YouTube. You can check us out, follow us on Instagram at Come On Down Show, or visit comeondownshow.com or email us at comeondownshow@gmail.com. I just said Come On Down Show a lot.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we end the episodes.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and use my remote control and click this episode off.
All right. Clockwork Orange. Is that it? Was that what we were talking about?
That's the reference to Clockwork Orange, Jeff.
Okay. Yes.
Bye.